Yeah, there we go.
All right. Okay, so after you've managed to save mostly, or actually everyone who was present at the town hall meeting when it went up in flames, you have been officially named as the town's champions, investigators, whatever you want to label this. But you've been promised a reward and support from the town to investigate what exactly it is that is trying to get out of Harrowstone and is corrupting Ravengro right now. We are now at the next morning. It is Friday the 20th of Lamashan. And you sit around as you have for almost a week now. Every morning you sit around the breakfast table, and conversation as usual is a little bit slow as you all kind of reminisce on the events of the last couple of days and try to make sense of all of this for yourself and where your place in this should be. So, what are your plans for today?
So it's been a full week since the fire.
No. It's been a week and since you've come here to Ravengro.
Okay.
Right on the next morning.
There was some equipment that some of us wanted to get, some advanced stuff that might be helpful.
Yes, you were promised your party was promised your pick from Joffra's inventory. Have you decided what you want?
I don't think we talked about that.
We did not.
Okay, then that would be a good time to do that now.
Well,
can we go to Joffre's and browse?
Well, there's.
We already did.
I could read you the list of weapons from the core rulebook, but.
But basically, she's offering us one shield, one weapon, and one armor.
She's offering you masterwork quality, one shield, one armor, one weapon.
Do any of us use a shield?
I do. Emaírel does. And is it masterwork or +1?
Masterwork.
But the weapons are +1.
Let me check what exactly I said.
I kind of remember a +1 somewhere.
I was pretty sure the weapons were +1 because the whole point is I was asking about
You're breaking up real bad.
No, guys.
I'll be right back.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Bad reception on my end for some reason.
Same here.
Storm.
Yeah.
My voice connection just took a big dip.
Discord is messing with us.
That's weird. Maybe it's the Discord server that's having problems.
Is it happening to everybody else?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a storm here, so
Maybe. I'll try to change the server region. Not sure if that makes a difference, but we'll see.
You sound better, at least.
Yeah.
Well, my connection is still in red, but and it's green. Okay.
Yeah, mine just popped up.
seems to be working.
Okay, so yes, you were right. The item, the weapon is masterwork. The shield and armor are both +1.
What?
Wait, what?
I think that's what I said.
You mean the other way around? The weapon is +1, the shield and armor are masterwork?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in any way, I could probably I could use Masterwork chain shirt, as if nobody needs an extra armor.
Emarél can use well, he will be using his own shield, and so he could upgrade the shield. But if he gets the +1 weapon, he can put Bane on it.
Okay. That still leaves us with a shield option, but
Yeah, I guess no one else. No one else has a use for shields. So, yeah.
do you have to use a specific shield?
No.
You might as well take the shield then too.
Yeah.
because- I mean, unless I don't know if Alejandro, can you use any other weapons aside from your shovel?
Well, I mean, if there's a masterwork monk spade, that'll be amazing. But otherwise, usually unarmed is the way to go.
Masterwork unarmed strike.
Imagine that.
Aren't there like masterwork, like brass knuckles or something that basically are monk weapons?
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep it lore friendly.
Fair enough.
One weapons, fighter.
So should we just double down on Emarél tanking for us the shield and the weapon that can actually hit ghosts?
If he's picking the shield, he won't go for the weapon too.
Well, I mean,
Did
I
we
guess
ask Joffrey if she can make you a magical musket or whatever it is? Blunderbuss, is it?
I mean, I was assuming not. Yeah, just because
It's very specific.
it's very specific. There's technically only like one place in all of Galarian where firearms are supposed to be made in the lore.
Yeah.
So.
That's a completely different skill than her blacksmithing and gunsmithing is different.
Well,
I mean, I could take a rapier and become a mediocre melee fighter for the time being, but
Would you be somewhat effective with like a crossbow?
That kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it?
no more effective than anyone else would be. I didn't take the crossbow maven archetype, so. Or the bolt ace. Sorry, it's the bolt ace archetype. Crossbow mavens for fighters. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess I would be better off with something like a crossbow than a. I don't know. I mean, she's the other thing I keep having a problem is she's a blacksmith. I'm having a hard time imagining her having like crossbows lying around.
Well, I mean, Last Forged in Fire asks people to make a crossbow, so who knows?
I mean, it's for hunting and stuff like that. It wouldn't be too far off to think that she would make crossbows.
Yeah,
There's a lot of metal in there.
yeah, it's
Okay.
they're perfectly valid.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. If someone else thinks they can make better use of that weapon,
So, okay, then in this case I will be picking up Masterwork Chainshard, if everyone okay with that, and, well, we give the rest to Emaírel, I suppose. What we have done, the longsword, I suppose, or what she has to offer.
Well, what do you want?
Well, I can't imagine she'd have Elven-made type weapons.
No, that's too specific. No exotic. She has.
we're all so specialized in very particular weapons.
Yeah.
Like a sword? Ugh, I don't know.
How do I use this?
A magic sword? Jeez.
Yeah. No, she has simple and some martial weapons, but definitely not exotic weapons.
Well, if there's a long sword in there, it'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, longsword is definitely available.
The only reason I'm hesitant to go with well, never mind. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
If you do want the rapier, I can. Like,
I don't want to get up in
wield
melee
it.
range though. I'm pretty squishy. I'm not good for AC, so I don't want to be in the center of the action if I can avoid it.
All right, so
Go with it, Emaírel. Go with it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
pick up a +1 longsword made by Jorfa herself. It is adorned in a number of dwarven runes, and is just a beautiful piece of craftsmanship.
Nice.
And
Especially since you get Bane on it, you're gonna get the most out of it. So
and Arronax picked up a Masterwork Chainshard, if I
Yes.
get that right. Okay. All right.
So, light tight spreads the impacts very well, and probably won't rip if someone bites in it.
And the shield goes to Emaírel too.
Well,
These are designated to tank, offensive,
yeah,
everything.
if no one else wants it, I'll take it.
Okay. Heavy steel, or what is your preferred shield?
He's currently using a heavy wooden shield, but if there's a heavy steel one, it's fine.
Yep, she definitely deals, or it's more likely to find a heavy steel shield in her place than a heavy wooden one. So, heavy steel, Masterwork heavy steel shield it is.
did we get any other? I mean, we got the town council's seal of approval. Did we get any other? We didn't really get a chance to negotiate in the midst of the fire.
No,
but-
you got a promised reward of 500 gold pieces per person if you can put whatever is rearing or stirring in Harrowstone to rest.
Was any part of that up front?
No.
We could go ask.
No gold in this adventure until you do things. Ugh.
Capitalism.
Damn you, Ustalav, and your capitalist ways.
Okay. What else do you want to do?
I think we're.
Well, I mean, Arronax will spend a couple of hours, of course, to brew his unstable mutagen and prepare his extracts, and that's about it.
Is it possible for me to get Alaric to do a little healing before we go adventuring? Because I got hit pretty bad last time.
And the night's rest is not going to help you with that, I would assume.
I mean, it'll help, but it's not. When I was listening back to the recording, I think I took like 11 points of damage. Or 10.
Well, I'm sure that Father Grimbro would help you with that too. So
For money.
no, you've earned
No,
enough.
we're in good standing with it.
Yeah,
We're
you
in good
earned enough trust to get
Okay.
Rasmus blessings for free.
All
So
right. Well then, I'll go to him and ask for healing, whether that's RP'd or not. I'd like to get healed up.
yeah, we can assume that he heals you up fully.
I can't think of anything else to do but go to Harrowstone.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point we have the town's blessing, and we have monetary incentive to do this now, and, well, it is the right thing to do. Yes.
While Arronax is making his extracts and mutagens and everything, Crow will be sitting in a corner of Lower Mortis Mansion, sipping coffee and reading from a small battered book that he pulls out of his coat pocket.
This would be a dexterity mutagen.
Nobody died in the fire, right?
Except
No,
the
he
undead.
saved everyone, but the town hall burnt down to its foundations.
So Geier will be over there just kind of clearing rubble. Just keeping busy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So you're spreading out around town. Is that what you're doing?
I suppose so. I mean, well, at least two of us in the Warmer's place.
After going to Joffre for the items, of course.
Okay. And do you have any plans for the day, or do you arrange that you meet back later, or are you just going to spend the day in town? What are your plans?
I think we should visit Harrowstone.
And I would like to know what Emaírel has discovered from all his research. He's been locked up most of the time. Maybe he could disclose whatever it is he's been
Yes. Have you
discovering.
found anything?
Anything that can help, because there's no point in going back to Harrowstone unprepared as we've been.
Well, we are slightly more prepared than last time, I would say.
Well, I've tried to get anything out of these books, but I'm only getting very vague memories, nothing really concrete enough to help us for now. Maybe if we
You
come
are
across... Yes?
You said you are getting memories from the books.
Well, I dabble a little bit in divination, and so for some objects I can get back some sort of memories from them.
Fascinating. I do not know much about you, Emaírel. We have hardly spoken, I think, since this week has passed. What exactly is it that you do?
Well, I was a student under the professor. He helped me access this different kind of spell casting. You know about wizards and clerics and all that, but he pioneered this sort of new thing where you can bring out magic from objects instead of from within yourself.
Can you bring out magic from any object?
Well, it helps a lot if the object has a long history. You know, a hero's sword is much more powerful than just a regular old rusty thing. But there is a little bit of power in pretty much everything.
And what is it that grants an object this power? Is it just you have to be a hero?
It's more like you have to be attuned to it, and you have to have studied the way to do it. I'm lucky because the professor was there for me, and he showed me the way to do that.
I don't suppose you could do something like that with my weapon sometime.
I absolutely can, I think. Well, I never really got much occasions to try these things in real life situations, but I believe I could do that.
Well, I assure you that my gun has history, although even I do not know all of it. Oh, perhaps if we survive this whole endeavor we embark on.
Sure.
There is a smell of burnt hair streams down the stairs.
Perhaps we should go check on the good doctor.
Okay. So the general idea is, I guess, that you want to head back to Harrowstone, correct?
Yes, especially.
Actually, I guess there's one other thing we should do before we go. Now that like everyone knows we're doing this, and now that we have official seal of approval to do this and everything, can we find anyone to talk to who can give us more information about the place instead of everyone being like, "Oh, it's just stay away from there. It's haunted." Like,
You want to do some more research on it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Are there now that like everyone knows that we're doing this and it's official, can we get people to talk a little bit?
Okay, so you can definitely invest some time in that. Do you just want to ask around town, or do you have any particular places in mind where you would want to try some research? I mean, the town hall had an archive, but those burned down.
Right, of course. I would think we would want to talk to anybody in town who's old enough to have been around when it was still functioning.
Well,
And anybody who's an official like council member or something, like Strelok might be good. Or who's left? There's two. There's Germinda. Oh no, not Germinda. Who's the other council person who's left?
Well, there's Vashin Hearthmouth, there's Myrta Strelok, and Shonda.
Okay, there's three left.
Shonda Faravan.
Shonda Faravan.
Shonda is younger, right?
Yeah, she's the young one. She was standing with Strelok on the platform when Hartmut was interrupted.
Right. I guess we should start with probably and Hearthmount is he old enough to have been around during the fire? He's like middle aged.
Yeah, no, he probably, if he was, he wouldn't remember.
So we probably have to try like Strelok. I mean, I think Grimbur's told us everything we can. And Joffre doesn't seem to remember. Actually, I don't know if we've really asked her about the prison. Maybe we have. I don't know if she has a ton of additional information. I would say Strelok for starters.
Okay. And the topic is going to be Harrowstone. That's what you're interested in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then give me a diplomacy to gather information, and you can spread out, or you can try do a main and aid another. I'll leave that to your preference.
Geier's not very diplomatic, so he'll just tag along Arronax.
Well, he is also not very diplomatic.
Then he'll tag along Crow.
Okay.
He'll tag along. He'll tag along Emaírel. Emaírel, are you gonna go out asking questions, or how's your diplomacy?
Not great at all.
Just leave the talking to me, I think.
Okay, I go with you, Crow. Make sure you don't screw this up. I jest and shove.
I mean,
Crow
you can.
in a friendly way that is a bit rough.
Yeah, he kind of Crow actually kind of like knocked to the side for a second, but never know quite what to make of you, Geier. But
Okay, so I take it Crow has done a main role, so who wants to aid?
I'll aid. 1 second. I think my sheet on Roll20 is in order for once in my life.
There we go.
Yay, he did it.
And I got a -1 modifier, so could be worse. Could be worse.
Anybody else? Okay, so Crow and Geier head out to Myrta Straylock's home, where you had that hush-hush meeting last time. And where is her house? Oh, it's just across the river. And when you knock on her door, she opens herself, and she at first seems kind of reserved. She is probably worried that you might bring up these rather sensitive matters again. But once you make your intentions known, she eases up a little bit, and she invites you in, and she sits you down in her antiquated drawing room and pours you some strong morning tea and listens to your questions. And Crow does an admirable job of hitting the right respectful sort of old-fashioned tone with her, and she tells you quite a bit. As you learn, some of that stuff you already knew, but she tells you nonetheless. Of course, you knew that Harrowstone is a ruined prison, and you've already learned that it was partially destroyed by a fire in 4661, and that it has stood vacant ever since. She mentions that the locals suspect that it's haunted and don't really enjoy speaking of the place, but she rejects the idea of it being haunted as local superstitions at first, and then realizes what has happened over the last couple of days, and just leaves that note kind of hanging in the air. She also goes back when you ask about the past of Harrowstone, and she says that she knows that it was built in 4594, which was right about the time that Ravengro was founded as well. Because it was, in the beginning, it was just a place where guards and their families could live, and that would produce food and other supplies used by the prison. She motions to some of the furniture in her house, and she says, or she points out that all the oldest buildings in town are still from that time. And then...
Does she know why Ravengro founded for a particular reason in the first place?
As a place for the guards and their families to live.
Guarding what though? Guarding
Harrowstone, the prison guards.
I mean, they're not living there after all.
Oh, so the town was founded
to support the prison.
To support the prison. Okay.
Yes.
It's actually
Okay.
fairly...
They would produce food and all the supplies that the prison needed.
Yeah, it's fairly common. I mean, some of the railway stations are actually supported the villages around them like that.
Okay.
Yeah, the fire killed all of the prisoners and most of the guards, and it destroyed a large portion of the prison's underground eastern wing. But it left most of the stone structure above relatively intact. The warden perished in the fire along with his wife, although no one knows why she was in the prison when the fire occurred. A statue commemorating the warden and the guards who lost their lives was built in the months after the tragedy. That you've already found that statue, and it's the one that has been suffering from these vandalisms recently. the graffiti.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you talk a little bit about the people that had been sent to Harrowstone when it was still active, and most of them Murta describes as hardened criminals that usually spent only a few months there because they were just waiting for an execution, which were very regularly carried out in that era. The
So
fire.
where were
Hmm?
the executions carried out? Was that within the prison?
Yes.
Okay.
The fire that caused the tragedy was, as she calls it, in fact, a blessing in disguise, for the prisoners had rioted and gained control of the prison's dungeons immediately prior to the conflagration. Which is, I think, the first time that you hear about the fact that they rioted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I think we
it-
might have heard rioting, but it sounded like it was happening with the fire.
Yeah, well,
Or
I think
something
we had somewhat of a hint when the specters rushed us in the.
True. But they rioted before the fire, and then the fire started.
Exactly. And she puts it in a way that it sounds like Warden Hawkran and about 24 of his guards sacrificed themselves to prevent the prisoners from escaping, and that they gave their lives to save the town.
Did they start the fire?
Well, the commonly held belief, she says, is that the tragic fire began accidentally after the riot began. And in fact, the prisoners had already seized control of the dungeon and had been in command of the lower level for several hours before the fire. But Murta had sent several investigations to Harrowstone over the last couple of decades that have found evidence that a deadfall had been triggered to seal the rioting prisoners in the lower level. And she suspects that this has something to do with how the fire started.
And I don't suppose she happens to know anything about a skull-shaped furnace in the lower level.
She doesn't. No.
Okay. In that case, I thank her very much for her time and the tea and the very useful information.
Much appreciated, yeah.
Indeed, it is good to finally start to feel as if we are getting down to the truth of some matters. At least starting to get some hints at it. I wonder, can we kind of like retroactively say that maybe when we were getting the weapons and armor from Jorfa, could also have asked her some questions to see if she knew anything additional?
What was the last bit?
If when we were with Jorfa,
Yes.
not only shopping, we would have asked a couple of questions.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Should I diplomacy for that as well?
What are your questions? Oh, you mean just general?
About Harrowstone, to see if she has any more information, since she might know more about its operation while it was functioning before it burned down.
Okay, give me a diplomacy check. And a sense motive too.
And a sense motive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, she has lived in Ravengro longer than anyone else. But she kept to herself. This is what she says. She's kept to herself for the past century or so, and despite her long life here, she has relatively little insight to offer into the inner workings of Harrowstone. So there's nothing that she can add to the matter. With her sense motive, you catch the sense that there is a reason why she keeps to herself, and that the life that she's chosen here in Ravengro is probably a way of trying to get away from something else, and that she is not really comfortable to speak about, it seems.
Of course. Well, Joffre, thank you so much for everything you are doing for myself and my associates. I hope to come back from this endeavor alive. This could be very dangerous for all of us involved, but it is the right thing to do, so we shall do it. But perhaps afterwards, if I come back, I'm sure I will be in strong need of a stiff drink, and perhaps you would like to join me at the Laughing Demon.
Sure. If and when you come back, we can do that. Sometime. Maybe, but during the day.
Of course.
And everyone pays for their own drinks.
Yes, indeed. It's only...
Tell you what, we'll invite
equitable
you a
that
first
way.
drink.
Okay. Any more errands you want to run in town? Any more investigations, any more research you want to do?
I think I'm good.
Anybody else?
Crow, while we're out poking for questions, maybe it might be best if you were the one to talk to Father Grimbarrow every time I try to get a word out of him. Well, I'm not the best with the words.
Haven't you earned his favor through all of your hard labors and such?
Yeah, well, but that's different as asking the right questions, getting the right answers.
Is there something in particular you want me to ask him about?
Well, I figure he might be the kind of person that knows about tragedies in this kind of town, and he seems old enough to have seen a couple.
Very well. I
Might
suppose
be
we can...
that he knows something that he deemed inappropriate for me to know.
Well, I suppose the morning is getting on. If we're going to talk to him, we should go. But, yeah, sure. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay.
And we'll stop by Grimbarrow as well.
Sure. Won't need a diplomacy check for that, because as you all soon learn, that he's talked to you about pretty much anything and everything already. But he is willing to open up the temple's archives if you want to dive into the numerous records that they house to do any kind of research.
This is an excellent opportunity, but I think this may be more up Emaírel's alley than ours, or perhaps even the doctor.
Either way, it's just, I know your group in the town now fully supports you. I see no reason to withhold our knowledge from you. Come back anytime, and I will tell my acolytes to let you right in.
Thank you very much, Father.
I think we'll probably, at that point, head back to the Lorimore place and let them know that everything that we've learned and the fact that they can access the archives. Those learned folk.
Do you want to use that opportunity before heading out, or do you want to get going? To Harrowstone, I mean.
I guess may as well do that now.
Do what now? Go to Harrowstone or do some more research?
The archives.
Okay. And yeah, there's the temple archives are indeed vast. They are roughly ordered by year, and there is some sort of system to it, but it's not very well kept, probably because of the rotating staff of acolytes that are charged with tending them. What sort of top topic do you want to research?
Well, at the beginning, we wanted to see a prisoner list.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is actually what we were wanting to do all along. At least what Geier was hunting for all the time, ever since we found the mention of it in the Loremore's documents.
Okay, so you want to do research on the prisoners in Harrowstone. Give me a knowledge history or knowledge local check, your choice. And you can, once again, you can either stack your rolls by aiding or you can do separate rolls, but please tell me before you roll.
If someone's doing local, I can aid.
I have good history. I'm good with history.
Okay. Maybe you should just do history then, and I'll do local on my own.
Okay.
Okay, 19 and 18. Anybody else? Any way to contribute?
I have. Yeah, I Geier might not look the part, but
Nice.
Nice. So was it your own or were you aiding, Emaírel?
I was aiding. Sorry, I was aiding
Okay,
Emaírel.
so that's 21. And is the doctor going to do anything?
Let me see. The doctor was admiring the enchanted blade. I actually don't really have anything, neither local nor history.
Okay, so we have the highest check is 21, basically, and one is 18. Okay, so you learn the following about the prisoners in Harrowstone. So, originally, Harrowstone housed only local criminals, but as the prison's fame spread, other counties and distant lands began paying to have more dangerous criminals housed within this prison's walls. And at the time of the Great Harrowstone Fire, the number of particularly violent or dangerous criminals imprisoned within the dungeons below was at an all-time high. The 5 most notorious prisoners in Harrowstone at the time of the Great Fire were Father Charlatan, the Lopper, the Mosswater Marauder, the Piper of Illmarsh, and the Splatterman.
Yike. These names really don't sound so good.
So it's moss water, not moose water.
Yes.
Is there anything in
I
particular?
also have it written down as moose water.
Is there anything in particular about the Mosswater Marauder? I mean, I think we as characters have not actually learned anything about these guys, but
That is correct.
We have the suspicion that Splatterman may have been the leader.
we do.
I have it written down. It was after we talked to Visoriana.
Okay, so yeah, what did the characters learn?
Yeah, you can do some more research on each of the prisoners if you want. That would be another separate check.
Okay, Crow's he's curious about the Piper of Versailles.
Okay. Well, it's just so you know, the the temple archives are not the archives of the prison. So if there's information about any of these prisoners in here, it's going to be pretty hidden among different things that you would have to piece together. So it's probably going to be pretty difficult to get anything out of here. So your best chance would be to throw all your eggs in one basket, basically.
And enough of this.
Okay.
Academic research. It's time to hit the field.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one in particular that we try to research then? I mean, I can't help with history if you're doing history.
The one we were told was who was the most powerful one?
That was the Splatterman. He was a professor at Halifax.
And I'll let you use the different skills to aid another, because you're aiding in the same task, basically.
Okay.
In this case.
I'll aid him with that then.
Okay. You aid successfully. Who's going to do the main role?
I guess I will. Oh.
That's pretty bad. Okay. In that case, yeah, you try to gain anything from the records, but they just casually mention the monikers of these prisoners, and you don't even learn their real names or anything more detailed.
Okay.
But almost half the day is already wasted on this, and you're getting a little hungry for a midday snack.
Well, yeah, and we also get hungry for justice and answers.
Perhaps we should refresh ourselves before we go off. Stop by Lorimer's place or the Laughing Demon?
Yeah, it might be good to check in with Kadira. Sorry, not Kadira. Kendra.
Mm-hmm.
See how
So
she's
you-
holding up.
Okay, so you stop by Lorimore Place, and Kendra is still busy sorting the professor's stuff. She has packed some of it into a couple of crates that she's begun to label, and she's working on trying to sort through things that she wants to send back to Lepidstadt to that should be, given to the university. And other stuff that she wants to keep, and other stuff that she's just gonna throw out. And she's kind of busy, and pretty much the same that she's been all week, still mournful and a little frustrated that her father left her in the care of some bodyguards that she doesn't even really know why.
Random guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much random guys.
sucks like that.
Nevertheless, her pantry is well stocked still, so you freshen up and grab a bite, and then
Thankfully, Dr. Arronax knows how to cook. I mean, after all, cooking is just the same science, right?
true.
Yeah.
I was just wondering from my notes, how old is Kendra?
She is
I think early 20s.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. I just sure.
Okay, so are we heading out, or
Yeah, let's
what's
do it.
happening? Okay.
Load up.
And one more time, you not only go to the grounds, but actually make your way all the way over to the prison itself. And stand once more in front of the partially ruined entrance to the main above ground building. Is everybody on the same page here?
Yep.
I think so. I need to fix up my tokens stats.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
ba-ba-bum.
hopefully this is the last time we're back here.
Yeah. Yes, and before we go in, Arronax will offer. He will offer Geier a small vial with sparkling liquid. Like, okay, so, Geier, next time when the going gets tough, you take this, please. It should help.
Thank you.
It is. This is a long arm extract. It will make your arms long. Yes.
Okay. How do you know this won't kill me?
I tested it yesterday on a dog.
And Geier looked 100% convinced and reassured. We're like, oh, well, much obliged.
So it may feel you a bit spongy in the shoulders, but it will go back as it used to be. I'm almost certain of this. So yeah, never mind. On this one, I hope it will. I hope it won't get to this.
Okay. So you make your way into the main building,
Yes.
passing the ruined foyer and stepping over the rubble of the doors, or the remains of the doors that you have forcefully broken down to avoid the effects of the strange haunt that had annoyed you in this room. So there are several open doorways, and you could go in either direction.
Should we
Okay.
continue where we left off or try a different path? We have not been to the left yet. Nor have we been to this door here.
We have been through that door,
Yeah,
haven't we?
we were there. I think it was.
No, we were at the northern one. This part is behind bars, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we saw what's there, but I'm not sure we.
I mean,
Oh,
wasn't
it's
it
barred.
locked? Yeah.
Yeah, well, the door behind that was locked, and we
Okay.
couldn't pick it up.
But we haven't gone to the left.
Okay.
But we could also go back all the way to where we encountered that ghost yesterday.
In the infirmary, right?
Yes.
Well, I guess we can try this one right here, since we haven't seen where it leads yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Emaárel will try it.
We'll try what?
The door.
The door.
You've beaten down all these doors.
Yeah, remember, because they kept closing on us.
Yes.
Well then,
You step out into this hallway. Several doors leading into it, and it gives you the sense of like some administrative wing or something. Those are certainly not cell doors. They're also not hardened or reinforced in any way. Just oaken doors.
Emaárel will try the first one.
And It is open. And it's a small office space. And there are still several old moldy papers and ledgers lying around in great disarray. It would probably take quite some time to sift through them or bring them in any kind of order. But who knows what information may slumber here.
Well, I guess we'll take a quick look.
Well, besides the fact that there are numerous records dealing with all number of things connected to the prison, you find nothing of interest, and it would take hours of work to get everything sorted, especially since, as you soon after find out, there are several more rooms like this that look similarly chaotic.
Roll 20 is ever so slow.
I think that the dynamic lighting is really rough on the map.
Yeah, I learned that if Roll20 is slow, then it's usually your video card running out of memory. So I'll try to keep the maps smaller in the next times. But this unfortunately, I don't want to split up again because I've already set all of it up.
Do I have my own torch lit right now?
I think I gave you my lamp, did I not?
I might have your lamp.
It looks like a torch 4020.
Geier had a lamp that he used mainly for show. That I think I gave to somebody.
Well, that's
No,
fine.
yeah.
I'll hold on to a light source.
Okay. There are two more doors that exit the corridor. Emaírel takes the southern one. Oh wait, that's I think that's the that is the southern one.
Nothing personal. It seems safe.
The door is not locked. It's just a little swollen from the dampness in this place. All the water nearby has, of course, seeped into every single bit of wood in here. But it's not locked.
Then give it a push.
And you yank it open. With a strength check. No, it resists. It budges a little bit. You can peer inside. It looks like there's a more spacious office beyond that door, but it doesn't quite open all the way.
Geier, give me a hand with this.
Geier wedges the shovel into the gap and pops the door open, popping it out of the hinges, in fact, and it lands flat on the ground of this indeed spacious room that smells of mildew and rot. There's a long desk and a chair that's set to the south. Well, to the northwest, there's a narrow alcove that contains a closed safe. Thick layers of dust cover everything inside.
It's all about leverage, finding the right angle.
The safe you said is locked.
You try it, and you find it to be locked.
Well, we could try to pick it open. I think it's a bit more prudent to search for a key in the vicinity. So Dr. Arronax will check the desk.
Hmm.
And Crow will check this cupboard thing here.
The sideboard.
This sideboard.
Yeah, everything that's on the desk and on the sideboard is utterly ruined. The open windows have let the elements in, and everything is just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, thankfully, keys are usually made of iron, so we don't use it. We don't look for anything perishable.
Perhaps we should try the other door then.
One by one.
Unless you think you could. You could pick the lock, Doctor.
Well, I mean, we don't know until we try, right? Let me see this. Arronax will wipe the dust from the safe, blow into the keyhole to to see what's inside. It's closed on a key, right? Not on the combination or anything.
Yeah, it has a key.
Well, let me see. Okay, where's disable device? Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Nah, it's too heavy.
No, in fact, you're very sure.
Yeah. It's at least with these tools, I certainly can't open it. It would be way easier either to blow it up completely or to search for a key. Unless, of course, you can apply leverage.
I'm sorry, I do not have the utility shot deed yet. I can't blast the lock open.
And I think it's beyond just bashing it with a shovel.
Well, maybe if we have a adamantium shovel.
Well, if you find one, I would be happy to take it off your hands.
Well, that would be a
Right.
good challenge to Joffre's skills, I suppose.
Crow's gonna hold his blunderbuss at the ready, aiming through this door, or waiting to aim through the door, just
Yeah.
in case.
And Arronax will hold his bomb in the hand as well, like so everyone like ready to just obliterate everything that could be hiding in the door.
Okay, you steel yourselves. You keep the door in your sights. The bomb at the ready. Geier and Emaírel standing left and right of the door. Listen first, I would assume, and then burst the door open, and there's just a washroom and a latrine.
Don't relax. I mean, these kinds of rooms are the most dangerous ones.
The latrines.
A latrine and a washroom. There's a little privy here that's at the end of it.
Probably for the guards.
Oh, these administrators.
I can't get in the door. There we go. What's this little door here?
That's the door to the privy.
Ah,
Oh well.
excuse me.
What's that of?
Gesundheit.
Couldn't mute the mic fast enough. Crow will just give a quick perception check around. You never know what people leave in the toilets.
You never know, and it's been long enough that there's nothing too unsanitary around here, but unfortunately there's also nothing else of interest.
Okay.
Nothing else to read either.
Well, at least that It clears up what's in this section of the prison.
So I guess we go back to where we were last time.
At least you have something new to study, Emaírel, instead of those same books over and over again.
I guess.
We're gonna have to run again.
Right, I forgot there was the room was haunted.
And Geier doesn't wait and just dashes across.
All right. You dash through. Cold
Okay.
breeze in your face.
Do I need to roll?
No.
Nope.
No need to roll.
Okay. Arronax also
Run.
will take a deep breath and... no, wait, don't leave me in the dark.
And you all run across the memory of that weird haunt still in the back of your heads. And you find yourself back in that in the room whose northeast wall had partially fallen and is now revealing the dark, murky waters of the pond outside. There are moldering training dummies and other similar equipment that hint that this room may have once been a training area for the guards. In the northeast part of the room, the floor around a dark, jagged hole is surrounded by black scorch marks. And you had fought 3 burning skulls here the last time you were in this room. But to your relief, there are none this time.
I wonder if that hole leads to the lower levels that Councilwoman Strelak told us about.
Possibly. Aside a quick thing, does Emaírel have a light source enabled right now?
It looks like you took the lamp from Geier.
Well, Emaírel probably should have it since he has both hands
Okay.
busy.
There
Does
it is.
anyone else have a light source aside from me right now?
I don't have a light source.
No,
Okay.
Geier has dark vision, but that's it.
Well, I'll stop charging ahead.
Okay, so you move into the next room, the room with that strange furnace. Give me a perception check as you move in.
That 20 now.
Okay, and then follow up with an initiative, please.
Oh, wait, I haven't done perception.
Okay, so Geier and Crow. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes. Geier and Crow, you notice that the face of the furnace begins to animate once more, and the scent of burning flesh starts to emanate from it. Geier, what do you do?
So
Alejandro?
yeah, sorry, it was breaking up. What was emanating from it?
The stench of burning flesh.
Different from last time.
No, it's pretty much the exact same event.
I'm trying to remember what it did to us last time. Did
It shot fire at us.
was it an area thing or was it a particular person?
If I remember correctly, we're just shooting it straight out. Geier steps forward and tries to put on his most. Actually, no. Like it starts. He steps forward, but not directly in front of the face,
Mm-hmm.
and threatens. Go like, "You stop that right away before you get a shovel in the face. No more fire." And tries to intimidate it. Oh boy.
Can you intimidate an inanimate object?
It-
Well, if you're very scared.
It's not entirely inanimate.
It is animate, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gaia tries to intimidate the furnace, and I just leave that statement without any further comment.
Fair enough.
Crow,
Yeah.
what do you do?
I was
This
thinking
place
of
is
trying-
obviously getting to Gaia.
I was thinking about trying the same thing. Geier is such an idea, but from the tone of your voice, I feel like that's not the right play. How did we disable this last time? Was it holy water?
I think we ran away.
Yeah, we ran away.
Well then, follow the light! He runs. Here.
Okay, door's still open.
Yeah, he'll stay here. He'll just stay at the doorway waiting for everyone else to make it around the corner.
Let's put that here, just to stay on the grid.
Oh,
Okay, the next moment, the face of old Abermaw, as the plaque on the furnace calls it, animates into a leering skull-like visage made of metal and bars. It roars, and then a fiery tongue lashes out from its maw at Gaia. That will be a ranged touch attack. What's your touch AC?
Touch AC, it's 11.
Nice. So you dodge the scorching ray-like effect that shoots out from it, and it's the doctor's turn. The face is still animate. There is fire roaring behind it. So this is not just a one-time thing. That's pretty clear to you.
Well,
It's still active.
I suppose it, Doctor, thanks to this Amber Moor, the Doctor is not left in complete darkness. So, while cursing, he will, well, run away as well. Like 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, 25. I think like this.
Okay.
You probably can double move.
I suppose so. Yeah. It's rolling, scrolling all the way. Stop. Wait, no, not there. Ugh. I'm sorry.
What's going on?
I don't know. You'll see on the recording, I suppose. The Roll20 scrolls all around for some reason for me.
Huh.
There we go.
Okay, so you move into the next room.
Yes.
Emaírel.
Will follow the lead.
Yes. I don't see you move. There we go. Gaia, your turn.
Geier follows suit.
Okay.
Stupid muttering, stupid furnace.
Okay.
We probably should kill it later.
Yeah, how?
Well,
How do you kill a furnace?
Well, you just blast it, I suppose. I mean, how else do
Okay.
you expect me to kill things?
You hear the roaring from around the corner for a moment or another, and the fire still lights most of the room. But assuming that you don't head back there, it will soon fade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I see he remembers us.
Well, it certainly does.
Okay, give me a second here.
Not again.
No, don't worry. It's just that the rooms are labeled in a weird order, which makes it difficult to keep track of where you are.
I forgot how many doors there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, the room where you fought that poltergeist, you warily make your way across every tiny little movement of air, setting you off immediately to turn around and look if what looked like an object a second ago might be catapulted towards you. But to your relief, the evil force has not returned yet, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm. So we haven't checked whatever these are.
Is this a window or an opening?
This is a window, yeah, looking out over the Harrowstone grounds.
Geier takes a peep.
Let me check what you see there, actually. Yeah, you look out over the basically the backyard of Harrowstone, and you see an open pit that appears to have once been a receptacle for the prison's waste. And even now, with the wind blowing your direction, the pit still emits a foul stench. And it's a good way away from you, but it's out there. Hello?
Well, that's charming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just staring out the pit of death and decay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it was an infirmary after all, so as we said in the institute, every doctor should fill his own graveyard. I suppose they didn't go far for this here.
Shall
Shall
we
we
try the... Yeah?
Let's see what lies behind the door number 1.
Okay. You check the doors one by one, and behind every door is a simple chamber. And given that the room where you fought the poltergeist was at some point an infirmary, you would think that those attached rooms are probably patients' rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look like they contain anything of interest, or are they pretty bare?
They're pretty bare. Everything that may have once been in there has been moved out by the poltergeist and is cluttering the main room along with the numerous other items.
I wonder why.
And I guess we'll try these double doors.
One by one.
Okay. Once again, you need to apply some elbow grease to muscle the doors open, and beyond stretches out a hallway that is familiar to you because you've already seen it coming the other way.
Oh, good. Finally starting to make heads and tails of this place.
Mhm.
What would we find here?
That's a small closet, in fact, that may have once just kept such ordinary items as a broom and a dustpan, similar things.
And on the other side?
Oh, I didn't even see that door.
On the opposite side, the door opens towards a different set of hallways that cross just a couple of feet in front of you.
Uh-huh.
And as you head in, you get your bearings a little more because you've also been to this part of the prison before. If you move on further, you will see that it connects to another set of hallways that you've already walked down.
This is where those dumb spiders were. Well, they were down the
Exactly.
way a little.
Correct.
Hmm.
I'm glad you have your bearings because I have no idea where we're heading.
Well, we have a few doors left to check on this level. I think we have this one in front of us. There's another on that hallway over there. Couple in main hall that we passed.
As long as there's no more infernal creatures.
We're here. We might as well try it.
If there's
And
any
Emaírel,
flying appliances, I'm gonna be pissed.
once again muscles the door open, and beyond you find another privy. This one much bigger with several seats, all of them, well, communal, shall we say. There's no sort of privacy sense of sort of privacy between the individual seats. Yeah, it's quite plain, and it seems like nothing of interest would remain here.
Well, one more mystery solved.
Yeah. There's an abundance of privies here in this facility.
Guess we should try this door. Crow's actually, the last few doors haven't had anything, so Crow's actually going to try this one.
Okay. What's your strength?
10.
Then I'm gonna need a strength check.
I'll assist just if I see he's struggling too much.
No, he's doing fine. Or at least he's trying not to make it look like he's struggling too much. And he pushes it open and finds a room where several rusty iron tubs sit, along with washboards, metal buckets, and heaps of moldy clothing.
I see. Well, hopefully no crimes have happened here. Or maybe they did.
Crow goes up to one of the piles of moldy clothing and kind of inspects it carefully.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
He kicks at it with his foot to see what's underneath.
Everybody else can give me a perception check too.
Is it going to eat him?
Geier's too
Emaírel,
distracted looking for like metal things that might attack him, inanimate objects,
All right, and the ones everyone else is kind of focused on the pile that Crow is poking, but Emaírel, you hear a rustling sound, and you turn towards another pile up here in the north, and as you look over there, you notice a shape struggling within the mound of clothing, as if there's a small child or an animal that's buried within.
Guys, we have company.
Who spins around with his gun. What is it? What do you see?
Where? Where is it?
Okay. As Emaírel steps closer to the pile of clothing, a straitjacket flies into unholy life and bursts from the pile. And we can roll initiative.
Bloody inanimate objects.
Straitjacket. Weren't there like handcuffs or something before?
Yeah.
This is even worse.
Okay. Arronax, you actually find your resolve the quickest, the fastest.
Well, with silent cursing, he will make a couple of steps forward and produce a sparking bomb and toss it right into the straitjacket.
Okay, you throw the bomb and it goes off and
Yay.
burns
Oh, that was a nice effect.
the straitjacket quite severely.
Yeah, I think I learned my lesson now. I will not waste any more holy water on these abominations.
But it doesn't stop it from flying out of the pile and shooting straight towards you. It is a straitjacket after all. And it's going to try and slam itself against you, Aroden. It's a 19 to hit.
Well, that will hit.
That is 5 points of damage. And it tries to wrap itself around you with a CMB of 6.
Now my CMD is 14, so
Okay. So you manage to slip out of the straitjacket before it can lock itself in the front, I guess. Geier.
Geier notices the jacket trying to wrap itself around the doctor. So he rushes. Can I occupy the same space as the doctor?
well, only
All
while
right,
you
because
move.
it's not tiny. No, but I can pass through, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He rushes through and grabs the jacket himself. Like,
Is that provoke?
Well,
but it's grapple.
without
I think unless you have the improved,
Prove grapple.
yeah, provoke.
Do not think I have improved grapple.
I actually meant just from him moving out of Arronax's square.
Oh,
Well, you can't walk around Arronax and don't provoke. So you can get to that square without provoking.
Okay, yeah.
That's for sure.
Assuming, yeah, I go around him and
Okay.
take the jacket from the air.
You try to grab it.
Yeah.
Okay, that will give it an. Oh wait.
No, because it's busy trying to grab
No. But
Arronax, no?
no, that's not the reason. Usually it would provoke, but with the elephant in the room rules, does it still do that?
Oh, God.
What is that rule?
I'm not sure we.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
I
It's-
think so.
it's
You still
def-
need a feat. It's just that
Yeah,
the
you
feat
still need
covers
to
more
use a
maneuver.
feat, but it's 1 feat to cover multiple maneuvers, but you still need a feat. So it'll get a free slam against you. The 10 to hit is, I assume, a miss. So you can roll your CMB to grapple it.
I think at this level, I add my at level 3.
Your CMB is 6.
But I use my monk level instead of my BAB when calculating CMB. So how does that affect?
So 3 plus strength.
Yeah, your CMB is just 6. It's the final result.
Okay, I don't know why it says 5 here in my sheet. I thought I fixed that.
Because it doesn't use the monk level for calculating it.
All
But in
right,
Hero
well,
in Hero Lab
I'll
it
roll
does.
that
so-
one. I'll roll that one and just add 1.
Okay. So 23. Nice. You grapple the straitjacket.
In Soviet Russia, I straitjacket you.
In Ustalav.
In Ustalav.
Emaírel.
Will try to cut the jacket without cutting Geier.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, they're grappling. It's just regular grapple. You hit it for 8 points, and since it's only made of cloth that doesn't have any hardness, you cut a good slice into it. Ribbon already dangling from the jacket. Crow.
All right. This is kind of the funky rules of 15-foot cones, but Crow is gonna step back here, and he's going to fire his blunderbuss on the diagonal, so it only hits the straitjacket. And he's going to spend.
Wait, what are you
Nice.
doing? Not in my ear! Ah! Oh!
He's gonna use deadly aim to get the. It is engaged, right? It's engaged in melee.
Yes, it's grappled.
It's already at a -4. But I have a -4 to hit it with a ranged attack.
Yes.
But it also has grapple. Okay, I'm just gonna spend. I'm not gonna do deadly aim. I'm just gonna do focused aim. The grip. So it doesn't modify my attack roll at all. The fact that it's grappled, it just lowers its AC.
Okay. That's a
13
hit.
against touch.
That's a hit. For 8 points of damage, you perforate the straitjacket several places. It looks moth-eaten now. Cut to ribbons, burnt in places. It's in a bad shape. Doctor?
Well, I suppose it's since it is grappled and it tried to grapple me now. Well, Doctor will channel the side of his Varisian gangster ancestors and pull out a dagger and try to shank it.
You draw your dagger and you stab it for 3 points of damage.
Uh-huh.
The straitjacket tries to become the controller in the grapple, which means that it is going to try to wrap itself around Geier,
Bring it.
slipping over his arms. And that's a success.
Oh no!
So now Geier is grappled.
But
The
so is the
grapple.
straitjacket.
It is a straitjacket, so Geier, you're in the straitjacket now, basically.
Get it off me! What can I roll to?
trying to break free from grapple or trying
Yeah.
to become the grappler. You can just either way, it's a CMB.
All right, let's do this again. That's 12.
That's enough.
Yes.
You shake it off, and it's Emaírel's turn.
Finish it, and I hold it out for Emaírel. As I shake it off, I hold it out. Rip it in twine.
Nice.
And he does. He cuts it lengthwise, and it just falls in two piles of unanimated, burnt and perforated leather.
Holy hell! How did that go up to 23 damage on the crit?
I keep it. The 2 pieces.
Yeah, I think it's almost max rolls on both the 8s.
Holy crap!
I keep the two pieces of the straight jacket, roll them up tightly, and
Cool.
carry it.
Wait, we need to find a way, or like a convention though, if we're gonna put the total critical damage in there, or if we're gonna use the sum as the critical damage. You know what I mean? Because you put both dice for the critical damage in there, so the 23 is already the final critical damage.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I think.
yeah, I see.
And I think I put only the bonus dice there, so that the first roll still gets, added to the second roll.
Oh, okay, I see.
I think that's what I'm doing. Let me see. Yes. No, actually, it's not what I'm doing. Yes, it is. Yeah. So I would prefer if we do that, just so that I don't get confused. So the critical damage is the sum of both. Or is that something you can't change? Is that the sheet?
Don't think I see.
I think that's just the sheet.
Yeah.
The sheet doesn't. Okay, then I will need to change my convention. Okay. But for now, Geier grabs the 2 sheets of holy leather. Not holy in sense of sanctified, but
full of holes.
in terms of full of holes.
Yeah, Crow immediately reloads the blunderbuss. Gonna stick with pellets. Pull out the powder, pour the powder in. Pellets, wadding, ramrod. He's going through a whole routine standing there. At least I can hit the physical objects.
Yeah. If we're lucky, we'll find more of these and none of those spectral fiends.
Anything else interesting in this room?
Well, there's a tin chute that exits the north wall.
Tin chute.
Mhm.
Where is that?
That's the hole in the wall that's here.
Does
And
it
if you
seem to
look
be
through it-
exiting to anything in particular? Yeah.
Yeah, if you look through it, you see that it exits into the cesspool pit
Oh, never
behind
mind.
the prison.
Crow does not step out there. Lovely. Once again.
Yeah, for an abandoned prison,
Yeah.
we indeed come across a lot of cesspits and privacy.
Well, it's the same cesspit.
Oh.
Yeah, so the rest of the clothing in here is utterly rotten and inanimate and uninteresting. Just just pieces of moldy fabric. Basically, it's even hardly you can't even tell what the clothes were at some point in most cases.
Well, looks like we have one more set of rooms to explore in this floor, and then, well, if Strelok's stories are correct, then our true adversaries await on the lower level.
Wait, have we checked these doors? This is to the lower level, right?
Yeah, we are going to find out.
All right. No more inanimate objects. Let us hope.
Okay.
And Geier. So, door.
Yeah. You open the door, and behind it is a set of stairs that leads up.
Up. That's right. There's the whole second floor yet.
So I imagine that these doors would lead down.
No.
Very likely.
You try to prove your theory by opening the doors, and indeed, there's a flight of stairs that leads down a couple of steps, but now it's just filled with a mess of large stone blocks and shattered timbers.
This would be the deadfall.
If anyone wants to do a perception check or has knowledge engineering.
Unfortunately, we
Emaírel, you notice that indeed the rubble that fills the stairwell doesn't look like it resulted from ceiling collapse. There's the beams that you stick out of the rubble don't look like they rotted through recently, but they look like they've been deliberately set off to trigger a deadfall.
I guess this could be the guard sacrifice that we were told about.
It would make sense. It would also mean that the only way down to the lower level is that hole we saw. No, the one with scorch marks coming out of it. Who votes for upstairs?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go up.
yeah, sure, why not? I mean, we can only fall from the upstairs. That's it.
Okay, so you head upstairs.
Mhm.
Stay where you are. And I'll take you upstairs. Sorry, this is going to take a moment. Okay. So you climb the flight of stairs and find yourself in front of a large double door to the upper floor.
Here we go.
Open sesame.
You open the doors, and behind them is a corridor that splits up and kind of circles back around, it seems. You see some wooden benches that once lined this corridor that actually is more like a large hall. Several are now stacked in a jumble, and others are overturned in disarray. They're weakened by fire, that's evident, and so is the entire east wall that has collapsed away, creating an unintended entryway to a wooden deck beyond. The view of the lake beyond would be beautiful if the silence were not so eerie.
How does the floor look? Does it still look pretty stable?
Floor looks still pretty stable, yes. And okay, so you push further into this room, and you can give me perception checks and stay where you are now, please.
Nice. Emaírel killing that perception.
It's
Yes.
the power of the elves.
Yeah, but
Rolling all 20s tonight.
yeah, but what's the skill in Emaírel?
Okay, but oh, come on, D20 PFS you by not turning on my ad blocker, but then you can't put ads over the stat block. Okay. Only Emaírel hears the telltale buzzing sound of several sturges climbing out from the rubble or from between the rafters of the room and making their way towards you. Initiative, please.
Come on. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? They beat us all.
Yeah, they're pretty fast. It's a surprise round, so basically all they get to do is close in. Zzz. This one buzzes over here. They're tiny, so they need to get in the same square. This one lands on Crow, and the last one comes dangerously close to the doctor's face.
I think Emaírel should get an attack of opportunity.
Do you have any sort of ability that lets you do that?
I think combat reflexes. I'm double checking.
Okay.
Does that work on surprise rounds?
You can make AOs while flat-footed. I assume that's
Yep,
what-
that is
yeah.
definitely the case. Okay, cool. Good catch.
So let's
Swing at it. You hit it and you cut it right out of the air. And it doesn't even manage to land on you. Okay, which one was that? That was the second one. Okay, Geier didn't see them coming really, so he's surprised. So is the Doctor and Crow, but Emaírel, you can still take your surprise round action.
Which would be just a move over here.
Okay, and then we have our first regular round. The Sturge that has landed on Crow immediately tries to attach itself.
Okay, I
Fine.
will use my dodging panache to try and step away from it, but it
Okay.
will still get its attack.
Okay. It's a touch 10.
Yeah, that's not with dodging panache.
Nice. So,
so I'm going to step. That'll still. No, it won't hit that square. Will that hit that square? No. Okay. Can I step this way?
No, there's a table. Or bench and table.
Okay, I guess I'll just step this way then.
Okay. And the Sturge buzzes after you. If you have a way to do a melee AOO, you can take it now.
I do not.
But
Okay.
Emaírel will take an AO.
It can 5-foot step.
Oh, that's a 5-foot step. Okay.
Yeah. The other Sturge that has landed on the doctor tries to attach itself to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 23 touch attack. I would assume that that hits.
Yep.
So once it puts its barbed legs onto you, it anchors itself in place, and it's effectively grappling you. Which means, of course, that it's also grappling. And then it inserts its proboscis into your flesh.
Get it off! Get it off! Get it off me now!
And now at the end of its turn, it starts to pump blood out of you into its belly, and it causes 1 point of constitution damage doing so. Gaia, your turn.
Geier sees what's happening to the doctor and goes like, hold real still. And flurry of blows the bug. Oh, I thought I had the macro.
That's a miss.
And comes the next one.
That's a miss.
Even with the +1/+1. Okay. So it's only the 2, right?
I don't know.
With flurry.
I think
I
so.
would assume so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Doctor, your turn.
So, well, I'm grappled right now, so where is condition? Grappled check. Ugh, everything is horrible now. But so I suppose it is time to just blow yourself up, or no, well, no, not really. He will try to pry this Sturge from his arm with a dagger.
That's a miss. Wait, you don't do an attack roll when you try to attack while you're being grappled. It's CMB. But the roll was terrible, so that wouldn't have helped anyway.
Okay.
Crow.
Okay. Crow is going to move. It should provoke. But since he has dodge, he'll get a bonus against
Okay.
that.
You can
It'll
just
try. No, you could just 5-foot step. That's right.
Oh, I can 5-foot step. Ha! That's
All right.
right. I'll 5-foot
you-
step back
so
where I was.
Basically,
now-
shove it off.
So now he'll yell to everyone. Everyone, stand very still.
What again?
And he levels his blunderbuss. Actually, let's see. Yeah, and he's gonna shoot. Yeah, because it's small, or it's too small. It can't attack me. It's not in my square, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Levels his blunderbuss, and he's gonna burn. 1 grit point for careful shot to auto miss all of his allies, and hopefully hit 2 Sturges. And he's going to take deadly aim.
Okay.
-1 attack, +2 damage. Oh my god!
Oh man.
One day, I'm gonna actually manage to hit something, and it'll be cool. How's an 11 against touch? Probably not good enough.
Well, oh right, it's against touch. Let me check. The thing loses its dexterity bonus to AC, so that means it still has
really
12.
One
Yeah.
day.
All
So
right.
he shoots a blast of pellets into a space where 5 creatures are and hits none of them.
And when the dust settles, nothing has changed. Yep.
You mean
He
God?
He looks at his gun in pure confusion.
I mean, God came down and stopped the bullets, man.
I'm pretty sure people would pay you to see this trick.
Yeah.
There's like perfect silhouettes of everybody like in the wall behind them. Pellets are just everywhere else.
Including the Sturge. Yeah. Even the proboscis is clearly visible, outlined. Okay, Emaírel, your turn.
Emaírel will stab at the Sturge attached to the doctor.
Nice, and you skewer it.
Good. This is the same money. He Doctor just shivers with disgust.
You still have a move action?
He will just stay there.
Okay. Okay, so the Sturge that has landed on, or the Sturge actually lands on Crow's blunderbuss, and then moves over where it can attach, which is going to try to do 15 against your touch.
Crap, sorry, I would have wanted to dodging panache again.
Yeah, that's okay. You've been doing this all the time, so that's okay.
Yeah, it would miss if I did that.
Okay, all right. So you get to dodge once again.
And I'll step back this way.
All right. Geier.
Guy, why did you move?
Oh, sorry.
'Cause now it's gonna provoke. If I walk into the same space as the Sturge, right? That's gonna.
Well, you can drink my potion and it will give you long arms to reach it.
No, I'll just go the long way around. Like here.
Climb on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a climb check.
Yeah. But all this happens in a swift move. Geier goes behind his companions, hops up on the table, and attempts to punt the Sturge.
Let's see the acrobatics check first. If you nimbly hop up there, or if it costs you a move action. Yep, that's decent.
And the same movement. Flurries it.
With your bare hands or
Feet.
how-
Oh,
you
kick
kick
it.
it.
An unarmed strike.
Okay, so the first kick misses and almost throws you off balance, but then you bring the second one around in a roundhouse kick and bash it against the far wall, send it flying, and it just goes flat against the wall.
Mind you, this is not like a martial arts kick. This just looks like a brutal kick. Just like with the heel, sending it crashing into the wall.
Crow's just standing there, like looking at his gun. He's like knocking it with the heel of his hand. He's like, what the? Don't understand.
You should probably give it now a name or something.
You should do it like the NES gun and just blow on it like.
Yeah, put it in.
You know, like with the Nintendo when you couldn't hit the ducks.
Yeah.
But like it's good.
I almost feel as if I've been cursed or something by this place. starts reloading it again.
Curses are not real, man. It's all in your head. Try
Oh,
to.
they're very real.
It's
Curses
just
are
my
real.
luck.
I do believe you might be cursed, my friend.
Yeah, maybe it's your lantern. Here, you should take it back. It's loading.
You should try to put your gun into the lantern. It usually does the trick. What?
Put my gun into the lamp.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Not going to ask what you mean by that. What else is in this room?
Don't worry,
Aside from Sturgeon.
I'm very shocked.
Yeah, like I said, there are these numerous wooden benches, sort of mess hall equipment. There's the fallen wall that allows access to the wooden deck outside. And there's the nice lake view with the slightly eerie undertones. But nothing in particular stands out of the furnishings. There are no items left on the tables. Nothing of interest.
Owned by books like
We have doors here.
Indeed, there are doors. Push them open.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so you open the doors and find a room that must have once been a kitchen, but now it's nothing more than charred, blackened remains.
Whose?
I mean, it might be difficult to determine whose.
Well, I guess it's forensic expertise is in order then.
Crew's gonna look around for any sign that the fire may have started here. Is doubting it.
Geier proceeds to the end of the hall, but doesn't open the door just yet. He's still waiting for his companions to finish combing the place.
What is a heal check doing there?
To recognize the remains.
No, there's no remains in terms of a body. It's just the remains of the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Crow, you don't think that the fire emanated here. It must have found its way up here and then raged here, finding plenty of fuel, but it doesn't look like it started here. So, what's next?
Try that door.
Okay.
Let's open it.
You open it, and there's nothing left in this small pantry that adjoins the kitchen. It looks like it was picked clean by probably rats and squirrels.
Nothing here.
I don't know what's worse, when there is something or when there isn't.
I
suppose when there is. But
yeah. Squirrels are worse.
Which way now?
Emaírel leads the way down the southern hallway that opens up soon after, and you find a guard area that is blocked from what looks like the cell block further to the west by an arc of iron bars. Within the guard post sits an old wooden table and a few chairs.
That's curiously arranged.
It would make sense for them to look over the cell block, wouldn't it? There's more doors here, doors up in that hallway. I don't even know where to begin.
This door leads to the guard area, that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it open?
Well, once you open it, it's open. It's not locked.
Okay. Check it out then.
Yeah, the guard area is also, there's nothing that seems to be of interest to you. There are 2 more doors that look like they lead to the outside.
Let's each try one.
Okay.
Risky.
So, Doctor then open this door.
Oh, Geier, you should pick one too. We'll see who the lucky winner is.
Oh, wait, I can't see anything.
Geier takes this door.
You open the doors, and both of them lead out onto a balcony that overlooks the main entrance of the prison. You can give me perception checks. Or knowledge engineering if anyone has that. Was that the 10, Anthony?
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 and 15. All right. Yep. Nothing strikes or nothing beckons your attention.
Well, I know I shouldn't, but I was going to go out, so.
Okay.
Crow is going to step out into the light for a moment.
Step out into the light, and the wood floor of the balcony creaks under your weight.
He'll probably stop stepping if he hears that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it really obviously, like, unstable sounding?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back in.
Okay.
See what lies behind other doors.
Okay. This is actually a cell block, and I will remove all the doors because you can look through the iron bars, and all the cells are still occupied by the piles of prisoner bones.
We probably should not disturb them. I really don't want to fight them as well.
Same thing here.
Yeah, all of these.
It comes to a dead end here, so. Just dead prisoners. Looks like these ones didn't manage to escape in the riot at all.
Well, it probably won't stop them from bothering us now. The dead should stay dead.
I
wish to
cannot
try this
agree
door up
more,
here?
Doctor.
I know, I mean, it's a very controversial point of view, especially in Nex, but...
Also, it makes me look very unprofessional when somebody I bury comes back to life.
That's another cell that's more confined than the others, probably solitary or something like that.
Oh,
and
but
it also
it's
holds.
blocked.
It's also locked, or it's blocked, and it also holds the bones of its former occupant.
You know, they call this fire a blessing, but these poor souls never even stood a chance.
Geier tries this door.
Gaia moves over there. Okay. You open it and find a larger, well, cell, apparently. It wasn't an iron door, it was an iron-clad door, and it's more spacious than all the other cells you've seen so far. But it contains no concessions to comfort of any kind. There's a skeletal body dressed in the rotting remains of a prisoner's robe that lies slumped against the eastern wall. It is wrapped in numerous chains on which are affixed numerous weights, emblazoned with several different holy symbols.
I take a note of the symbols. Take out like a. Geier fumbles around in his coat, produces a crumpled up piece of parchment and a stubby little pencil, and starts copying the symbols.
In what part of the room is the skeleton?
East wall.
On the eastern wall, yeah. Chained to the eastern wall. And I mean, the symbols are holy symbols of various deities. I mean,
They're not like, okay, they're
not like
no.
runes of any kind. They are the
Okay,
holy
they're-
symbols, capital H, capital S.
All right, then Geier doesn't write anything down.
Do we recognize the deities? Crow does.
Yes, there's all the major Galarian deities you would find there. There are plenty of weights.
These are written on the weights.
Yes.
What do the weights look like? They have a particular purpose?
They are attached to the chains,
Okay.
and the chains are wrapped around the body.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Let's inspect the body further, closer.
Just to make sure, the eastern wall is the map flipped, or is it the regular?
That's the
map
side,
is-
no?
Yeah, that's right. That's the side.
Okay.
It's not on the bed.
Yeah, it's not, because it's also not chained to the wall. It is wrapped in chains.
Lying on the ground next to the wall.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Case Crow's probably not standing on it.
Right. Towering over it, maybe.
What do you see, Geier?
What do I see?
Well, you see the rotten remains of a simple prisoner's robe, skeletal body, the bones almost falling to dust already. And you see these numerous chains with numerous weights affixed to them.
Emaírel is going to take a moment to detect magic.
You sense no magic in here.
This is just another normal prisoner who all of the gods of Galarian were required to keep imprisoned.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing to see here, I see. Just an ordinary prisoner. I would suggest to blow him up, but I suppose it's just waiting us to do it.
Yeah. I have a
Alright.
feeling we'll be coming back there. For some reason.
Okay. Wait. Gaia, give me a... So first, everyone give me a perception check, and Gaia, give me a will save.
Uh-huh. Wait, I get a +2 bonus for throws against fear effects.
Yeah.
Right.
But first, everyone give me a perception check, and then Gaia, give me a will save.
Oh, look at that.
Nice. Okay, and everybody actually made some pretty good rolls here.
Finally.
And all of you hear the soft jingling of chains being jostled. And now we'll go into initiative.
Who has the haunting siphons?
In the words of the great detective Scooby-Doo, row.
I think Emarél has those.
Okay, Crow. You hear soft jingling of chains.
Yep. Crow's gonna spin around and look back into the room. What does he see?
Nothing. The body doesn't move. Don't know where that sound comes from. Maybe it's just a trick of the mind.
Oh, this is no trick. This is another one of those things like the cold spot and the prisoners running away. He goes, I'm not equipped to handle this, and he just starts running.
Just one action. It's technically a surprise round.
Yeah, so he gets 30 feet over here just to try to get out of the radius of whatever this is.
All right.
Does he
Emarél.
still hear the sound?
He still hears the sound.
I guess Emarél will start digging for the one of the vials from the planchette.
Oh crap, I left everyone almost in the dark, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's alright, I can see.
I can't.
You pick up one of the vials, yes, and then?
I think that's all I can do. Just one action, right? Just a move.
Yes. So
Just pull it out and action for next round.
yeah, you just have it ready for next round, right? Because you need to have it in your hand. Gaia.
Geier, I don't know if you call it drawing. He draws his spade. Just basically just unslings it. And takes another cautious step into the room.
Do you have quick draw?
No, it's as an action.
Yeah, then because it's a surprise round, so you only have one action.
Oh,
Well,
right.
couldn't he
then-
still do it as part of a move?
Sure.
Yeah, then that's what I do, and quickly step into the room, kind of like holding it in front of me,
Okay.
waiting for that thing to rise and bash it in the head like whack-a-mole the moment it moves.
And as you stand there, kind of threatening the pile of chains on the floor with your spade, the rattling subsides.
Well, that's odd. Geier steps out. Does the rattling begin anew?
No, just stays silent.
I was just this close to blowing it all up. That person should thank me for not doing this.
But I'm glad we all made it out of that safe.
Yes.
Yes, thanks for sticking by.
Everyone did their part.
I mean, I was almost left in the dark, but
But not quite.
yes.
Next time I'll remember to drop the lamp first.
And just like cover us in burning oil. Thank you.
Not drop, just throw on the ground. Place down.
Gingerly.
Is this more prison cells?
Wait, where's everybody going? Should we not? Okay. I'll check those doors first. Fine.
Okay. This guy catches up with the others. Indeed, these are more prison cells, and they are too filled with skeletal remains of their former occupants. Stay where you are, though. Oh. Alejandro, did you go AFK? Or you're... I guess he did. Because he just whispered that he needs a second. I don't want to. So we'll just
Yeah, if that's the case,
take an
I'll
awkward
go,
pause.
Yeah, I'll go get some tea as well.
Dun dun dun. So what the heck was that? Is that trying to keep us in place or trying to keep us from leaving?
Or maybe just messing with our minds.
Maybe.
Back. Sorry.
Okay. Now
Little
we'll
guy
have
has
to
a-
wait for Carnus too.
The little guy has a bit of a case of the boogers, but everything
Oh.
good.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, actually. Like, no fever or anything. So, hey, hooray for small victories.
Yeah. Frida had a little fever this morning, but she already got over it. It's probably teething. But she's also got the sniffles and a cough.
When it rains, it pours, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this happened, and Lisa yesterday like had a stomach flu or something, so I had
Oh.
a bit of a sick ward on my hands.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, everything's fine.
Good. Okay, and Carnus is back. All right, so as you start walking down the hallway with these cells left and right, several things happen. The first thing that happens is that you'll roll perception checks. Who's missing? Crow. Oh, did Anthony step away for too?
I guess.
Looks like he did.
Whoops, sorry. Perception.
Okay. All right. So, Geier and Doctor. Okay. So as you begin to walk down this hallway, the Doctor and Geier, you both hear the faint sound of a mournful flute in the eerie flapping of tiny, leathery wings. At the same time, some of the skeletal remains in those cells begin to stir. Actually, all of them do. But all of these cells. Yeah. And they rise up as skeletons. Initiative, please.
Oh, Geier is ready for the Piper of Ilmarch.
Okay. Okay. This is all good. I need one more thing. And then we can move. Okay, so surprise round. The skeletons use the surprise round to rise, basically, in their cells. Gaia. Surprise round.
Do I hear and from which cells they're rising?
All of them.
Or like all the cells in front of us, huh?
Yes, and from the sound of it, not just in front of you, but also the next corridor.
Which one is the closest? This one?
Yes.
Geier takes a 5-foot step. And I will attempt to kick in the door with all my force, hoping that the door hits the skeleton in the back.
Okay.
Is that
that was just a
unarmed?
5-foot? Was that just a 5-foot step that you took?
That was just a 5-foot step.
Okay, yeah. Then go ahead. Try an unarmed strike against the door, basically.
Boom.
Nice. It is not confirmed, but it is enough to actually bash in the door, the cell door. It looks like the hinges in the rotten walls give in pretty easily if you give it a good kick. And you smash the iron door into the skeleton. And
I still get another attack, no? For a full round?
No, it's not. It's just a surprise round, so you only get to take that one action. And I'll give you half damage for that with the door against the skeleton. So you bash it pretty good, but you don't destroy it outright. Emaírel didn't really hear, is surprised by the sudden turn of events.
Boom.
The skeletons rise up. Doctor, you also heard the music and the flapping of wings. Carnis?
Sorry.
Your turn.
Yes, is it still surprise round, right? So I can't.
Yep.
So yeah, then Arronax will prepare a sickly green vial in his hand, but pulling out his mutagen, and well, that's about it. Since unfortunately I can't drink it with only one action.
Okay, so you quaff the extract, is that it? You're kind of hard to hear.
I'm sorry, I forgot to lower my mic.
Okay, much better.
I mean, Arronax will pull out his mutagen, and that's about it, because he can't drink it after pulling it out with only one action.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, and then everyone hears the Piper's song. A mournful dirge played upon the flute, disembodied, manifests in the hallway, echoing from the cells, being accentuated by the hammering of the skeleton's arms against the cell doors. Everyone make a will save.
Is it a fear effect?
It is a fear effect.
I get
Yay.
+2.
Stay. 14.
Kindness.
Will save. My will save is +1.
All right, you're all not shaken by the music, and Geier, I will need a second will save.
Oh boy. Is that against fear? Because that's +2.
Unfortunately, not. And even though you're not shaken by it, it still mesmerizes you in some way, and you become paralyzed and freeze in place. Okay, so that's that. That is bad. The skeleton right in front of you, Geier, staggering back up from under the iron door, lashes out at you with its claws. With one attack only. You're being held, so you're paralyzed, which means you're helpless. Paralyzed has effective dexterity and strength of 0 and is helpless. So that's -5. I get a +4. So it's actually a 10, the first claw attack. Yeah. So it does 6 points of damage to you, and I will need another will save from you. $15. Okay. All right. Crow. Your turn. Still surprise round.
Might Crow have any chance to recognize anything about that tune?
Oh.
Does it jog any memories for him or of tales that he's heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I thought. Does he know what that's connected with at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows
So
the
he
story.
kinda, yeah. Which right. Which I think I vaguely recall enough of, so he's just gonna call over the haunting flute melody. He goes, I recognize that song. This is the spirit of the piper of Ilmarsh. And he
by
what
books like
does
he did in Avatar.
he like fascinates children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how
And,
the story goes.
Leads them to their doom.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to. This skeleton is like still in its jail cell, right? There's still a door in the way.
Most of them, yes, except the one where Gaia bashed the door in,
Right,
of
where
course.
Geier opened the door.
Yes.
Crow's going to. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but Crow's gonna try to like find some. He's gonna take some wadding, some of his wadding for his cartridges, and he's gonna shove them in his ears. And
Okay.
he says, "Don't listen to the sound."
Okay. First regular round. The skeletons begin pounding and screaming, screeching against their cell doors. And one of them actually manages to break free that way over here and comes running down the hallway. Skeletons are pretty fast. It's 30 feet, so... All right, we've updated our hotkeys. Yeah. So how can I now?
It's Q now.
That's exactly 30 feet to get over here. But it has to end its move there. Geier, you are still mesmerized by this melody, but you can take a full round action to try to a new saving throw.
Okay, yeah, that's what I do. That's will then.
Yes.
Nice.
And you shake it off.
Ooh. Nice tune. That was a full round, right?
That was a full round action, yes.
Yep.
Emaírel.
Is going to stab the skeleton that's free.
Mm-hmm. You strike it, and of course a longsword is not the best weapon to deal with a skeleton, but you basically use it more like a blunt weapon and manage to bash its spinal column and bring it down.
I think that's it for his turn.
Okay. Then another skeleton breaks out of its cell and comes down the hallway. And this one is a little closer, so it actually gets an attack in on Crow. Single wipe
I'm
with
going
its claw.
to. Okay, I was. Well, actually, no. I've got nowhere to go, do I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really dodge my way out of this one.
Well, actually, you could, because this skeleton is down.
Oh.
But either way, you won't want to waste it on that. And then another skeleton breaks out of its cell and closes in. And half jumps at Emaírel with its claws out. 14, Emaírel.
Misses.
And it misses. The doctor.
Well, the doctor, seeing all this shit happening, who takes a and quaffs the mutagen, and he will starts once again begins slightly vibrating with his arms elongating and well he slightly mutating just a little bit, which would grant him mutagen natural armor, click, and +4 bonus to dexterity. And since it is unstable mutagen, five. Yeah, it increases my penalty to my wisdom score by 2. So
Okay, so what do you do?
yeah, that it is -4 to my wisdom now. My wisdom is now 6. Well, with a wisdom of 6, I think he will throw a bomb at the skeletons. He just go away, you silly things. But he will not throw them at exactly skeletons. He will throw the bomb at the intersection.
Behind them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have them
Okay.
in the splash damage. And the splash damage is 6.
And that is just energy damage, right?
Fire, yes.
Fire. Okay, so they get reflex saves.
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2. What is the DC?
Just 1 second.
Oh, you know what? They both make it because this is taking too long,
Okay.
and then only take half damage. But that will still
I'll need to write down the DC.
break them. The blast will still break them, and 2 piles of blackened bones crumble to the floor. The piper plays his entrancing melody once more. Everybody do will saves. Crow gets a +2 for stuffing his ears.
It's actually a total of 14 on mine.
14 on yours. Okay. Gaia and the doctor, you are both shaken. And let's see. And the doctor will have to make another will save.
I mean, I wisely lowered my wisdom to my to -2, so my will save is now -1.
Mm-hmm. And you freeze in place as you are mesmerized by the music. And in fact, Carnes and Alejandro, I'll take you to the room next door real quick.
Ooh, what's going on?
Both of you, when you were being held, and the doctor, now that he's being held, you're not just standing there motionless, entranced but by the music, but you also experience a vision of the ghostly piper himself as he approaches, attended by a flock of sturges, coming closer, always closer.
Can the Arronax speak when he's entranced like this?
No, I think we're like
No, you can't.
struck dumb, right?
Right, I just wanted to let you guys know that that's happening, and now we can go back.
Not a skeleton to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay, doctor is being held. Anything else? No, that's that for now. The skeleton has now entirely freed itself of the door and full attacks Geier with a 9 and a 9. So I guess both of these miss. Crow, your turn.
Crow's gonna press the blunderbuss right up against the grating of the door next to him, and he's gonna shoot at this skeleton. Is it technically in melee if it's got a door between us?
Oh, you mean the one that's trying to attack Geier is who you're trying to shoot?
No, the one to the left here.
Well, not really, no. I mean, you have... But you also don't have cover, so no, yeah, it is melee. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Just gonna it's just doing a regular old shot, not a single grip point for 3.
Wow. Okay. And that was that?
And he's gonna move. Actually, no, I guess he's gonna stay right where he is.
Okay. I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Mhm.
This is some pretty creepy background.
It is.
Yeah, the music is eerie.
It's not just my imagination that I've rolled stupendously bad on attack rolls this entire campaign, right? Like,
No,
Yeah.
you've been terrible from day one.
like I've rolled well on other stuff, but I mean, like I just took a big penalty for firing into melee, but even then, like I wouldn't have hit.
You
Even
set up
without
this
that.
amazing marksman in the stories before the campaign started.
I think I've hit like one creature with my gun so far, maybe
Yeah.
two.
You probably wouldn't hit the ground if it weren't for gravity.
Okay, that skeleton was already blasted. Geier, there's only the one next to you that's free right now.
But I am entranced, no?
Nope,
You fixed
you made your
yourself.
save.
Ah, okay. I thought like I had fought again. All right. This one's still alive.
Oh, wait. You're right, you did fail.
You failed another
Oh, but
save.
you're
Yeah.
only shaken. You're only shaken, yeah.
Okay, I'm shaken. Conditions. Shaken. All right. So, shaky as I am, I will bring down in a full round attack the monk's spade with the blunt end on top of the skull's head.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like 2.
Yeah, and fighting in these close quarters and against these quick skeletons is not easy, so you miss with both strikes.
I missed quite
Emaírel.
terribly. The second one is not great.
Yeah.
Do we hear the piper music coming from a specific direction?
No, it just rings out disembodied. You can't really tell where it's coming from.
Okay. Emaaren will try to stab at this guy from through the bars.
And you strike him and cause some damage to him, but fail to destroy it in one thrust. And this one is already down, so is this one. The doctor, you can try to free yourself from the mesmerizing effect.
That I will do. Unfortunately, I'm not sure I will succeed.
Okay.
I suppose I didn't succeed.
You continue to be held there, and I'll take you into the room next door real quick. And in your vision, the piper comes closer and closer, and followed by his flock of sturges. And the first couple of sturges already start to land on you, and without having any way to avoid it, they sink their proboscis into your flesh and begin drinking your blood.
Oh.
Okay, that was that. The piper once again plays his terrifying music. Will saves from everyone. Crow again gets its +2.
Oh, they're getting lower. I'm at 12.
Crow is
Yep.
shaken. Geier is shaken.
Do I need to do the will save?
Emaírel is shaken.
Do I need to make a will save since I already?
Yes, yeah. And Emaírel will make another will save, please. And the doctor is also shaken. And Emaírel is held too.
Uh-oh.
The brave little skeleton that is fighting down there tries to attack Geier once more with both of its claws. 18 to hit.
18 hits. Yep.
And I will need a will save from you. You fall unconscious.
Oh shit.
What?
Yep. You see Geier take like a glancing strike from the skeleton. First hit he took today, I think.
No, second.
Second hit, okay, but you've seen him take much more physical punishment. He's not even bleeding that much, but he just kind of collapses. Crow.
Was he staggered, or was he fascinated when that happened?
No.
Oh shit. And everybody else is currently fascinated,
Well, he
right?
two of us are fascinated and one unconscious, so you are
Correct.
the only
Yep,
one
everybody
alive.
else is still held or fascinated.
Okay. Crow is gonna take more of that wadding and try to shove it into Emaírel's ears.
Okay.
And I guess that's probably
Yeah,
all he can.
That easily takes up your turn, yes. Okay. All right, Alejandro.
Don't listen to it, you fools!
Some nasty things are happening to Geier right now.
I would love to ask you what you heard or saw while you're fascinated, but
Well, I'm fascinated. I can't really say.
I guess you're fascinated.
Although fascinated is a fancy version of saying it.
What effect are you actually under? Are you actually under the fascinated condition?
I think I'm paralyzed right now,
You're
or
paralyzed.
either paralyzed or held or something like this.
Yeah, I think paralyzed. Oh, did it coup de grace him?
Well,
Because when you're paralyzed, you're helpless.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Emaírel, you get to try to shake off the fascination.
Okay.
And it's enough. You're no longer being held.
But still shaken?
Yes, but you're still shaken. The doctor can try again.
And I'm shaken as well.
Yes.
Right? Where is it? Shaken, here it is.
Nice. Natural 20.
Ah.
So you shake it off.
Oh.
However, as you come back to your senses, for a second there, like the minute after waking, or the moments after waking, when you're not sure if you're still dreaming or you're awake, you look at your arms and you see all sorts of tiny little bite marks, and they're bleeding profusely, way more than tiny little marks like that should. And you take 6 points of damage.
For the doctor?
For the doctor.
Fucking Sturgis, I hate them. Just get them away, get them away.
And that was a full round action, and then the song can be heard once more. Will saves everyone. The crow's not unconscious. Why is there this?
Oh, that was my just staggered, but so don't forget, Emaírel, you're getting a +2. I don't think that helps much.
Yeah.
Crow's at a 15.
Dr. Emaírel continue to be shaken. Crow, you're no longer
Oh, no.
shaken.
Wait, yeah, so no, actually I'm at a, I guess it doesn't matter, but I'm at a 7.
Yeah. Dr. Emaírel are shaken. Crow is no longer shaken.
Okay.
Okay, nobody is under his influence right now, so one is unconscious, so that leaves 3 that he would be interested in. Crow, another will save, please.
Focus is, Come
Nice.
on!
Nice.
You're not fascinated by the
You're
music.
not taking me away, Piper!
The skeleton mindlessly continues to hack Geier. 6 points of damage and 3 points of damage. Even though he's unconscious. The skeleton doesn't care. Crow.
Oh, it's going after unconscious Geier. But everyone's who's not Geier is okay for them. Okay, so Crow is going to give. Should I try to help Geier, or he just took 9 points and he's unconscious?
So you take a good look at Geier. Is that what you do?
Is he bleeding out right now? Or is he like unconscious with high hit points still? That's what I'm...
You look over to Geier and you see that he has indeed fallen unconscious. But as you look closer, you notice that there are faint ghostly chains that have wrapped around him. And there are numerous holy symbols decorating these chains. They're slowly tightening around his body and causing him to thrash about in great pain and distress.
Oh. That's bad. I'm gonna move over here, and as I do so, I'm going to try to. I'm gonna give Arronax. I don't know if I can. Can I stuff his ears for him?
Not really. No, that seems strange.
While he's conscious. Like when they were fascinated, it made sense, but
yeah, it doesn't.
I'm just gonna shove some wadding into his hand and say, "Don't listen," and then I guess that's what is that? Is that like a move action?
Yeah, okay, but you need to get it out to. I think that is easily
That's my
around.
full round.
Yeah.
Just to hand it to him.
Well, you get it out, you rip it up, and then you hand it to him.
Okay.
I think that takes 6 seconds.
And then I'll stand over Geier to try to like shield him from the skeleton.
Okay. All right.
Does can Arronax see the ghostly chains over Geier?
I mean, I assume you just have to look at him, because that's all I did is I looked in his direction and heard that.
Ah, right. They're in the room next door, so some more bad things are happening to Gaia.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's only getting worse. Although that was a good will save, so.
Okay. Emaírel.
We'll try to finish off this guy.
Yeah, you smash him. Like, you push your sword in and then you pull it closer, smashing him against the door, cracking his skull, sending the skeleton tumbling to the ground.
And then he take a 5-foot step.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. Doctor?
Well, Doctor will follow the instructions and stuff his ears full of cotton. Well,
Okay.
gun cotton, probably explosive. So that would be one action, I suppose, and the next action would be to pull out the last vial of holy water. And I think that would be, unfortunately, it.
Okay. And then the song returns. Will saves?
17.
Oh, wow.
Ow.
So Crow and Emaírel, you're not shaken, but the doctor remains shaken.
That's
And Emaírel will need to make another will save.
Yes.
Okay, you are not fascinated. The skeleton that was attacking Geier now has, of course, a threat in front of it that it has to address. So it's
I'm gonna
gonna.
panache dodge.
All right. The first one doesn't need it. Second one may need it.
That's still only a 19 AC, so yeah, hits.
So he hits for 5 points of damage, and then it's your turn.
Okay. Can I see anything back in the room where the body was, the Piper's
No.
body?
Nothing has changed about that.
I can still see the inanimate corpse lying there.
Yes.
Okay. Crow's gonna yell, "Emaírel, take care of the others!" And he's going to pull out a cartridge shot, which will allow him to reload as a standard action instead of a full round. He's going to move over here. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. He's reloading his gun with a bullet.
Okay.
And he's standing right over the body of the Piper.
Okay.
more bad things happening to Geier.
One can only assume.
Okay. Emaírel.
We'll try to push Geier away from the skeleton. So reposition CMB, I think.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Or actually, well, the reposition anywhere in your reach then.
Or Bull Rush, rather. Push him away.
Okay, sure. So you move him here and out of the way, but end up in front of the skeleton. Okay. You still have a move action technically.
Nothing.
Okay. Doctor.
Okay, Doctor then will follow Crow into the the cell of this chained person. Where exactly is the body?
Here.
So yeah, and with Mighty Swing, he will just smash it with holy water, like with a hearty wish of being blessed, bastard. Come on, click, click, holy water, click, click. I'll just roll normal attack.
I really just need the damage.
Holy water is 1d4 plus my intelligence, right? My intelligence is 4.
Isn't it 2d4?
It is 2d4.
d4.
9 points. Alright. I'll be right back.
Well, I hope that helped him a little.
The Piper plays his song once more, and everybody who could still hear it, which is all of you, has to roll their will saves.
Ooh, that's
Emaírel
a
is
13.
not shaken. Crow is shaken.
Shit.
The Doctor is shaken too, and Emaírel will have to do another will save. You're not fascinated, but you have to deal with that pesky skeleton. And I believe it's now in the darkness, is that correct?
I think so, but elves do have low light vision, so I'm not sure.
Well, there's no light actually getting there. It's because the angle is wrong. You don't see anything in there. So
Technically, in order to fire my blunderbuss, I haven't said this, but the blunderbuss is a two-handed weapon. I would have had to put the.
Okay, so it would be somewhere around here.
It would be up there. Yeah. It would be where Emerald's currently. It'd be the square above Emaírel.
Okay, we should think of that.
Yeah.
Because vision is important in the prison. Okay, but it would be illuminated in that case. So it doesn't get any bonus. It's just 18 and 14 to hit. Both miss, was that?
Both misses.
Okay. Then it's Crow's turn.
Okay. Crow is going to try to shoot the skull of this body point blank.
Okay.
and see if he can somehow actually hit something that's not moving at all.
Well, that's a coup de grace basically against the inanimate object, so you can roll your critical damage.
Okay, I'm going all in on this. I'm taking a focused shot, and I'm not gonna take deadly aim though, because I don't trust myself to hit the thing.
Well, it's a coup de grace, so it's an automatically confirmed critical hit, so you
okay.
can take any, but it doesn't really matter because you.
Oh, and that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, so you blast the skull to bits and pieces and turn around hoping that Gaia would wake up, where at least those chains would disappear, but neither of that happens. Okay, we'll go over to Geier. Emaírel.
There was something I wanted to do. Yes. Can Emaírel try to figure out what is happening to Geier?
You can try to. You can give me a heal or a knowledge religion check. Well, you would think that it is some sort of weirdly manifesting possession that's happening here. Yeah.
Does that sound like something that would happen from a haunt?
It does. So anything that could potentially harm a haunt would probably help with those chains. Maybe also something like protection from evil in this special case, cast on Gaia.
Okay. In that case, he's going to try to dispatch the skeleton in front of him so as not to be bothered by it.
So while you look at Geier, you kind of give a backhanded bash against the skeleton, turning it into a fine powder.
And then, where's that equipment tab? And then, well, he's gonna take a move action a free action to drop his sword.
Okay.
And a move action to retrieve a scroll of protection from evil.
Okay. Doctor.
Okay. So, unfortunately, it doesn't seem that blasting it with holy water helped. At least, well, probably helped, but not visually. Phew. So what we can do?
Okay, you delay.
Yes, he will delay and he will ask Crow to please step aside, because as soon as you step aside, I will probably blast it with a bomb.
The Piper's song can be heard again. Will saves. Oh boy, Doctor continues to be shaken. And Crow is shaken as well. And Emaírel, I'll need another will save from you. You are held. The skeleton is no longer a problem, though. Crow, your turn.
Crow is gonna back up as Arronax requested. He's actually gonna leave the room entirely. And he's going to rack his brains for what he can remember about the legends of the Piper. See if he can think of anything that would help.
Okay, knowledge local.
Would I get any sort of bonus to that?
Sure. I'll add something on my end.
The shaken, it's kind of hard.
Well, as the story goes, and as the lesson goes, that is always attached to that story, is that sometimes it's just better to run.
Yeah, I was kind of getting that impression. Crow's just he backs out of the room and he's just muttering to himself, "We have to get out of here. We cannot stay. We have to get out." That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Doctor.
And, well, Doctor will toss. Come on, toss another bomb straight at the haunted corpse in hopes of destroying it.
Right, the fire washes over the chains and blackens them a little bit. You may burn some of the bones, but doesn't seem to do Geier any good.
Ugh.
And
Yeah, I think-
Geier, your turn.
Well, he will leave the the room as well, and at this point he probably will start agreeing with Crow that maybe it would be wiser to step away for the moment here and drag Geier with.
What's happening? Where am I?
Well, you tell us what's happening. I mean, did that weird thing with Sturgis try to suck your blood?
Geier is visibly confused, stands up, starts shaking and punching things. Simon, how am I doing with health? Because I am...
You're probably dying.
Yeah.
Well, I told you the damage that you took. That there was no additional damage after that.
Oh, okay, but I'm still at -2.
I don't know. Why would
Yeah.
you be at -2?
I took 3 rounds of damage. Which, yeah, I think the first one was 6, the second one was 10, and the third one was 8, if I remember correctly.
No, I think that's not right. I can't go. I mean,
Yeah, there's too
that's
much stuff.
Yeah, there's just too many things in the chat history.
Yeah, I can't see.
But you went down. You went unconscious from the second attack of the day, right? So
But,
I think-
but that was like hit points unconscious and not some sort of effect.
no, it was not hit points unconscious. He just went unconscious. That had nothing to do with
then
hit
maybe,
points.
yeah. Then I am confused.
And then you took 9 more points of damage, and that was it.
All right, so I just put 0.
How many
I'm
hit points do
confused.
you have in total, Max?
26, if I did the math correctly when I leveled up.
That sounds about right. And you took 6 points that sent you unconscious, and then you took 9 more, so that's 11. So whatever
Okay, because I have here, it says like 2 claws. Attack 1 was for 6 damage. Attack 2 was for 4 damage. That was the second attack, I think.
that doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter. You took a total in this encounter. You took a total of 15 points of damage. So that
Okay.
would reduce you to 11, and then
Okay.
subtract whatever you took before, and subtract another 2 from while you were subconscious, and then you're at the current.
Okay. That means I'm in 3.
Okay. All right, so Geier is in a very rough shape, that's clear, but he's conscious, and those strange ghostly chains around his body have disappeared. Emaírel has another chance of tearing himself away from the haunting melody, but fails. And that means that when the melody rings out once again, first everybody needs to make will saves. Crow continues to be
9.
shaken. Doctor continues to be shaken. Geier is shaken. And Emaírel is also shaken. And we have 3 people by now. Crow needs to make another will save. What? Seriously?
It's shaken.
Yeah.
I
And-
have a +4, but
And thus you're fascinated as well. And now I can actually show you the picture, because Emaírel and Crow, you have a vision of the Piper slowly coming closer, followed by his flock of sturges. And Emaírel, for you, they even start to land on your arms and your neck, and they sink their proboscis into your flesh and start drinking your blood. Crow, you can try to free yourself from the influence.
oh my god. I have an ability. Holy crap. How have I forgotten this? Level 3. I just got it. I get 3 uses of it per day. Activate Charmed Life to get +4 on top of the other +4 that I'm getting. Holy
Nice.
shit.
I
So I
think
have a
that's a-
+8 to this. It's just 12. Is that enough?
12 is not enough. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Okay.
Which means that, the doctor's turn comes up.
Oh my god. So, can I can I try to help Crow or Emaәрel to to shake off the infatuation, like slap them around or something?
You can try.
Well, he will try. He will step forward to Emaәрel and he will shake him.
Okay.
him.
All right. And I think we're gonna fade to black here.
Oh well.
And see how this ends next time.
You're killing me, Simon. I thought I was for real dead for a second. I was already like looking into new builds.
I have one last story to read to you guys. That is actually quite well timed at this point. Tamrivaina, 4661, Absalom Reckoning. The wind of change is blowing through the county of Canterwall. People talk about independence from their hereditary noble family more and more openly. While the revolutionary spirit has not yet reached critical mass and probably will not for a couple of years more, the people of Tamrivaina have started to realize that there may be alternatives to their current rulers. The cobbled stones of the large town's market square are hardly visible because of the crowd. A hunchbacked man with red hair, dressed in blue and white clerical vestments embroidered with Desna's butterfly symbol, swings his shepherd's staff for emphasis as he preaches to the gathered townsfolk. And see, as it is written in the 8th scrolls, man was created to be free, but man has to create his own freedom, and as you strive to throw off your worldly shackles, you need to break the chains of your soul, for only a free spirit can soar like a butterfly. The sermon is well received as it touches some of the current sentiments with skillful precision. Traveling preacher goes on for a little longer and then states, and thus shall maketh your own destiny. For only 15 gold pieces the smile of Lady Luck can be bestowed upon you in the form of this divinely blessed ointment. 'Tis but a small price to pay for your soul's salvation in these trying times. The preacher has captured some of his listeners with his sing-song sermon, and several of the townspeople start pushing towards the group of cowled men that have set up a folding table with their relics for sale near the preacher's portable pulpit. Suddenly, a farmer yells from among the crowd, "Oh, give us a break, Father Charlatan. I just saw you a couple of days ago in Lepidstadt, except you were a Pharasman then and sold that damn grease as a divine wrinkle cream to me wife. She's been smelling like cabbage ever since." Several people in the crowd chuckle at the thought. The hunchbacked preacher's face freezes and he gestures to one of his acolytes. No, you must be mistaken. I am Cephik Corwin. You must have met my brother Levin. He has truly fallen from grace. I'm so sorry for your loss. Please let my acolyte reimburse you for my brother's false cure. The acolyte makes his way over to the man and smiles at him, revealing a golden tooth. Please, take me to your home and give me this salve, and I will take care of you right away. The man grumbles and shrugs and leaves with the acolyte. As the crowd starts to disperse, only very few people buy the priest's miracle cure. Moments later, the acolyte returns alone. As he makes eye contact with the now sour-looking preacher, he nods almost imperceptibly. The preacher smiles fiendishly. No one notices the fresh blood on the acolyte's shirt underneath his robes. And that's the story of Father Charlatan. And there's also a picture of him. I don't want to keep from you because it's actually pretty cool. But I couldn't share it before since not all of you saw him. There he is. And there are the chains with all the holy symbols.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so I see this while I'm fascinated. No, wait. I see the Piper while
we
I'm.
see the Piper, yeah, and this,
You saw the Piper.
so apparently they double teamed us.
Yep.
Well, I think we might have escaped his deal because we heard the chains, but we all resisted it. I think not.
Did you?
Well, I guess not because because one of us was. I thought that was all the Piper's doing, but it was So one of us was getting hit by the charlatan the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us were getting hit by the Piper.
That's
cool.
Correct.
That's very devious.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell is the Piper then?
Maybe he's down the corridor.
I think we're gonna regret asking that question.
He's just coming closer to us from somewhere.
Well, haunts are weird. That's all I have to say to that.
Yeah.
Somebody very early in the campaign, somebody mentioned like, "Oh, are we gonna find haunts as big bad evil guys?" And I was very surprised by that because I thought that is a brilliant idea to have haunts as actual NPCs.
I mean, it makes sense when you look at a lot of the history of like ghosts and
Mhm.
the legends that surround them. Is often a ghost is specifically a spirit that's chained to a particular place because their body was not properly disposed of. So like dealing with a ghost usually isn't just killing the ghost. It's like you got to go in and you got to find the corpse and you have to either appease it or lay it to rest. Or often in like ancient Greek myth and stuff, the spirits that can't rest are bound in iron, specifically iron chains, things like that. Physically
Mhm.
hold the body, physically hold the soul within the body. So yeah, it makes perfect
Yeah.
sense to have the whole thing be like an infiltration to find the source of the haunting and
Yeah.
try to eliminate it.
I mean,
I was
in
hoping that killing the corpse would, or shooting the skull on the corpse would work, but apparently not.
yeah, that was an interesting idea, but I thought it shouldn't work because the remains were really there was no more connection between the
Mhm.
haunt and the remains. Maybe if you had like shot the chains or something like that, but that would have also
That was the other thing I was wondering is if we should remove the chains. But
yeah, but that would also be weird because that would basically be setting the charlatan
Right.
free in a
right,
way.
which kind of seemed like a bad idea as well. So
Yeah. So, well, what would have helped, or at least what the adventure predicted that you would do, or would give you the options to do, were all centered on the person that was possessed. Of like trying to help
helping
him.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Alejandro, I guess you can tell them what your experience was while they were fighting.
Suddenly, I woke up, and this imposter ginger priest of Pharasma was telling me that all was at peace, that my job here was done, and it was time for me to rest. But Geier would not have it. So he tried to resist and resist, and managed to pull through.
Yeah. And the way it worked was that while they were having their conversation, Geier would make will saves, and every time he made his will save, the haunt would take damage. She was like resisting its influence. And every time he failed his will save, Geier's physical body would take damage.
No.
and that way he could die. And that's sort of how the haunt kills people, by just convincing them that it's
give
okay
in.
and you're safe, and then their
Well,
physical body dies away
I was
without the
quite
people
lucky
even.
with all the rolls.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like after a streak of bad rolls, finally getting some good ones
Mm-hmm.
in a critical time.
Mm-hmm.
So did you defeat it?
I
That haunt?
I just resisted.
But I mean,
Yeah.
did you deal it enough damage to make it go away, and that's why you're conscious now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's one haunt down. We just have the Piper to figure out as we're dying.
Correct. And we'll figure that out next time.
Okay. Well,